Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another live edition of Ask Engineer, the longest running live engineering show. Also maybe the only one, but that's okay.
That's right.
We're here, it's me, Lady Ada. I'm the engineer. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, also known as Goth Ziggy Stardust.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can be hero just for one day.
No. I do think this is all the electronics that's fit the broadcast.
That's true.
I do think that's true.
That is true. We always
the Edward R. Murrows of broadcasting electronics. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night and good luck. That's the show, folks. Good night.
No.
All right.
What's on tonight's show?
Glad you asked. On tonight's show, the code is Omnibus. We got the Hackaday Volume 2 in, so we're going to celebrate Omnibus. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects. We had them. Lady Ada will talk about them. Pack of mailbags going to stop by, letters that you sent us. Adafruit Jobs Board, the best place online to post your skills and for companies to post help wanted. Time travel, we'll look back in the world of makers, artists, hackers, pioneers. If it happened in the past, we're going to talk about it now. Wearable electronics, video and more. 3D printing, lots of videos, including a time-lapse Tuesday. Ooh. Raspberry Pi news. New products. We'll answer your question, a top secret thing. That's right.
Ooh.
A trivia question, all that and more on, you got it, Ask an Engineer. Bum, 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 bum. Okay.
Dun, da, da.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
We have to have that fanfare from the Windows 3.1 that Tony DeCola.
That was a cool project. Okay. Well, let's start this off. We are viewer supported. No loans, no venture capital. Turns out that's all gone now anyways. The bubble has burst, folks.
Really? That just happened today?
Yeah, it just happened today.
Okay.
So Omnibus, that's 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and it's in celebration of the second volume. We have this in the store. Hackaday is a site that I started a million years ago, and one of the things I always wanted to do is do a comic book. They're doing it now. We're stocking it in the store. They even have a story about the Arduino stuff and a photo of you. So this is all kind of neat.
More skull.
Yeah. So, and when I designed the Hackaday logo, one of the things I wanted to do was clothing and like have it do all sorts of different stuff. And they're doing it. So I don't have to do it.
Easier on you.
Yeah. Now I get to make a bot some more.
You can do Adafruit stuff instead.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, and that's why the code is Omnibus tonight.
Omnibus.
So when people buy stuff, that's what keeps us in business because we have no other way to do what we're doing.
There's no way for us to make money, really.
Yeah,
we are unemployable.
Yeah, that is the other issue.
This is the thing.
That's
so
the
this
other
is it's too many zippers.
Yeah. So let's kick off the show. We have this. I thought last week we were going to end it, but it really is ending tomorrow. If you're going to buy anything, the free deals are ending tomorrow. So the different tiers that we have are $100.
$900 or more, or $100. Can't remember.
100. Perm Proto.
Half size Perm Proto, the bestest.
Yeah.
Breadboard-like prototyping board.
150.
150, you get a Trinket 5-volt AT1085. Can program with the Arduino IDE.
200.
200, get free UPS ground
That's
shipping.
going to stay.
In the continental USA.
That's going to stay. 250.
Pro Trinket 5-volt at Mega 328, little microcontroller. It's a super low cost. Program it, have it look like a keyboard or a mouse. You can basically do Arduino compatible projects with it. Really great way to stick a very, very, very small Arduino compatible in your project.
Okay. And if you're in New York City, select zip codes before 11 a.m. We have same-day delivery. It's been saving lots of agencies with clients. Very
common for clients, students, anybody who's like, I really, really need this today.
Yeah, it's working out.
It is possible.
It's working out because I see the notes of the...
You do have to pay a person to come here, pick it up, and then basically take it to you.
We take care of all that.
But we don't do pickups, so this is what we can do.
So we get that going on. All right, just programming note, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Show and Tell every Wednesday, and Ask an Engineer, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. That's what you're watching right now. During the week, from the desk of Lady Ada, we'll kind of do it at different and random times. The show is heating up. It's really cool. We'll probably have one tomorrow, probably have one over the weekend. We don't know. It's whenever this engineer feels like doing stuff. So
yeah, I mean, like I have to kind of plan it out, make sure I have something interesting to show. But maybe tomorrow I'll do some radio stuff.
Yeah, what's neat is you took apart a Heathkit power supply from back in the day. It was from 1980s.
Yes.
That was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, and then we did some appliance repair not too long ago. Tony DeCola stopped by for the New Year's Eve edition.
I did some radio work. I got these RFM 69.
Oh, that's right.
433 and 900 megahertz radios.
Yeah.
I tested out these modules. I soldered them up, and then I used an RTL SDR, software-defined radio USB dongle to test the transmitter and make sure that it was working.
Yeah. And no matter what, even if you're not into electronics, sometimes we have video game playing. Well, you play Fallout. But even if you're not into all this stuff, if you just have a hobby and you're interested in sharing what you're doing, we do a lot of experiments with all the cameras and all the setups. And so you can get an idea of what's possible with live broadcasting in 2016 on multiple networks. So we do Periscope, we do Meerkat, we do YouTube Live, we do Twitch, Ustream. So it's neat. It's very out there. Okay. Show and tell.
Yes.
Every week, people around the world show and share their projects. What was on the show and tell this week?
All right, we had a lot of Adafruit people this time, which was really lovely to see their lovely faces. Tony DeCola from Adafruit Northwest showed up. He's been working on a Feather M0 at SAMD 21 chip. That's a Cortex M0 that can be programmed over the Arduino IDE. And we have been working on getting DMA I2S audio playing working. We have an I2S amp, and I thought this would be a good demo to show that you can use this Cortex M0 to read a WAV file off the SD card and play it to this I2S amplifier. So that's a project he showed off, and it played some funny sounds. Noah and Pedro previewed the PyGirl 2, which has a custom PCB. I think Noah learned how to do EagleCAD and designed a custom circuit board to make the PyGirl a lot easier, and also uses the Pi 2 so it can emulate much better games. So it's going to be coming soon, so you got a preview of it. Phil B also has a preview of a project he's going to be releasing soon. It's a portable rechargeable Hacko. So you want to solder on the go. You want to get a butane iron, even though they're great. It's kind of hard to get butane carried around. Like, people don't like it. It smells bad. So this is a USB rechargeable soldering station. I mean, basically a 3D printed part that plugs in and adds rechargeable USB battery power. Then we had Adam came by, and he made an Internet of Cornhole project using 2 Feather BLEs. He digitized his cornhole playing. So there's 2 BLE modules keeping track of score for the 2 sides, and then he used an Android app to connect them together, and that was really neat. So it's like a peripheral bridge. And then Matt Miller was showing off, he likes to play simulator games, such as Flight Sims and Euro Truck, which I don't know what that is, but I'm just hoping it's just like German techno while you drive a truck. I don't know what this game is, but I'm going to check it out. And he wanted to make custom controllers, so he made a 3D printable sort of snap together system for making custom controllers for these simulators. So you can have one just for flight simulation, one just for Euro Truck simulation, one for like bass fishing. I don't know, whatever simulators. It's a very neat project, actually. I kind of like the idea of these plug and play pieces. Yeah. And then Lolly came in with a scoreboard for cricket. He's an avid cricket fan, maybe a cricket player. And he's using big NeoPixel strips and XB remotes to make a scoreboard that you can be remote controlled from across the field. And he said cricket games apparently can last like 5 or 6 hours. So he has to really figure out how to power this thing.
It can last a long time.
That's really long. Have you guys thought about like baseball or football?
Baseball's pretty long too, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it 5 hours though?
It can be. Yeah, this is the thing. There's lots of innings.
That's true. There's each inning is like 20 minutes.
People say that the fast pace of something like football or basketball is what this country seems to prefer. But then there's the
hockey isn't that long. I mean,
hockey is fast paced. Soccer can last a long time.
Soccer definitely. So and there's only like one goal.
It really depends. Different strokes, different folks. So.
But he likes cricket, and jolly good. He's got a lovely scoreboard for his cricket party.
Yeah. Okay. All participants on the show and tell get it, as seen on the show and tell sticker. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, and you will receive a show and tell sticker. To get on the show and tell, it's complicated because it's a bunch of social network and media and all sorts of things.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. So just go to google.com/+Adafruit and look for the show and tell link that's posted. There's usually an event on the event page as well, and we post a link, and you can just click that and usually get into it. And if the room's full, just try back next week. We do this every single week.
Every single week.
Yeah.
We're here.
All right, packed mailbag. These are the letters we get from you. community. We read to the entire company each week, and we also read them to you. This is from Daryl. Wow, I've heard of service, but you've set an unbeatable precedent. Very impressed. Looking forward to future shopping with Lady Ada and her family. Thank you for surpassing expectations. Not common these days. All right.
Glad that we were able to impress you.
Okay. Next up, Adafruit Jobs Board. So Jobs Board origin was a lot of people were asking, I want you to do consulting. We don't do consulting. And then there was a lot of people saying, I have all these skills, but I'm in different parts of the country. How do I get a cool job at a place like Adafruit or whatever?
Yeah.
And so we made the Jobs Board, and it's for companies that post up jobs, and then also makers who have skills. So this week, this is from Brett in New York. Engineer to make Bluetooth battery-operated camera device. We are currently looking for an engineer to help bring us a Bluetooth battery-powered camera to market. We need to have someone to make the prototype. States and supply a bill of materials in our factories in China. Looking to link a camera to a Bluetooth to talk to a smartphone. It would be enabled by an app. If you could do that as well, that's great. If not, we're looking for separate people. So if you want a challenge in New York, or you can probably even do it remotely, check out this job on adafruit.com/jobs. All right. I got open source hardware news.
Oh, wow. It's been
Sort of. Well, sort of. Like, this is my category. This is my catch-all category. For the first time that I am aware of, open source hardware and talking about electronics in this way is in Bus Magazine that's on stands now.
Ooh.
Yeah, so here you are. They came out here, and they have a story about you. And this is Bus Magazine. Normally...
It's an awesome magazine,
yeah,
too, by the
normally
way.
not where you go for electronics news. Things are changing.
Oh, wait, there's a thing about coding, too.
Yeah, so lots of coding.
Okay.
And then you're in the beginning here. And you're in the...
Okay.
Yeah, so here you go. And so this is kind of a big deal because one of the things is...
and then there's me sitting, too, so there's two.
Yeah, so, one of the things
So the factory behind us?
Showing that this is a woman-owned company and you're kind of doing your thing, doing engineering, is the message that we want to get out. And Bus was really nice to come here and do a great interview with you and do a great photo shoot. And a fun side note, on the cover that's here, this photographer who photographed Jessica Williams is also the one who photographed you when you were in Wired.
It's a great photo.
Small world. So,
love it.
Anyways, go to newsstands, pick up a copy, get the digital edition.
I'm totally going to read this.
Yeah, okay.
This is a hardcore magazine. I like this. It's sweet.
Yep.
Cool art.
Okay, next up, Adafruit Learning System. How many tutorials do you think we're up to?
910-ish?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, 910. Let's talk about it.
Is that true? Or are you just kidding?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Look, 910.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, sweet. So we're starting off with a GoTenna teardown. This is a teardown that Becky and I did. We have a video we're going to show off. Some pretty fun RF circuitry inside of here, so we'll watch the video. And if you're interested in what's in your GoTenna, this way you don't have to take it apart. We did it for you.
Okay, next up.
This is a simple Raspberry Pi robot. This is from Tony DeCola. He saw the really cute little BLE robot that we made with this Red Rover chassis, and he's like, I want to make one with the Raspberry Pi. And it actually, the reason that I like this chassis and the reason we carry it in the store is it kind of fits like all of these single board computers or Arduino compatibles. Like, it's exactly the right width to plug in a Raspberry Pi. You have the little port sticking out, but that's fine. I mean, it's actually kind of handy. You can plug in a USB or Ethernet while you're programming it. And then you can have a USB battery pack and stick that on top. And you can also use some batteries for the motors. And then you can use our motor shield. Works great for driving the motor. So really easy way to make a little mini robot with a pretty easy to use chassis and low cost but very durable.
Okay, next up.
Oh, I just did a quick write-up of the Featherwing Proto and Doubler because people were asking some questions about how thick the traces were, and I'm like, I should do a little tutorial. So I just did a 2-in-1 tutorial. I just did an overview of the Proto Wing and the Doubler Wing. They're very similar, and that way if you have questions or you want to download some dimensional info or like what is exact spacing, you can check that out here.
Okay.
And then we have a new product tutorial for the new product, the Feather M0 BLE. So this is our Bluetooth Low Energy with a Cortex M0 processor that's Arduino compatible. So this is really nice if you want to do Bluetooth and you want 48 megahertz, you want a 32-bit processor, something with DMA, like we talked about. It has I2S DMA capabilities. It has multiple serial ports. It has 256K of flash, 32K of RAM, USB capability. I mean, it's a really, really awesome chip, the ATSAM-D21, same one used in the Arduino Zero. And so we wrap that up with LiPoly charging and USB bootloading and the BLE in the standard Feather format, so you can use all of our wings and stuff to make a kind of intense Bluetooth project. And doesn't even use that much power because it's 2 Cortex M0 chips.
Okay. All right, next up, we do a weekly roundup on our site. It's called the Adafruit comic book reading list. What we realized is pretty much most folks here read a comic book in some way, or have, and there's certain ones they like. So this week, it is from Lucas, and he is in Kidding. And this one is Stand Still and Stay Silent. It's by Minna Sundberg. Tomorrow, news of rapidly spreading infectious disease breaks out on international media. Overnight, stories of what was previously considered unrelated causes have become packed hospitals and a confused, fearful public. I'm not going to spoil any more.
Okay.
Check it out. And it
looks like the art's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's one of the neat things, too. A lot of these stories are pretty heavy. It's like kind of modern, novels and lore. So it's kind of neat.
Interesting.
So
modern mythology.
Yeah. Okay, time travel. Look back in hackers, artists, engineers, pioneers, and more. This week, it is Happy Birthday, Ruth. Happy birthday, Ruth. She's an American chemist, inventor, known for her work related to textile industry, notably including the development of wash and wear cotton fabrics. She held 55 patents. She's known for monobasic acid chlorides in the production of cotton, in which she has 55 patents, which allows for wrinkle-free and durable clothing. She invented these wash and wear cotton fabrics while she was working for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in New Orleans in the 1950s. Before that, a family needed a considerable amount of time to iron clothes. She found a way to chemically treat the cotton so it was more wrinkle resistant.
Yeah.
And it was also stain and flame resistant. Besides her contributions to the textile industry, during the Korean War, she developed a way to give fat intravenously to patients who are too sick to eat, a method used to feed seriously wounded soldiers.
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow. Geez, a lot of science.
American chemist and inventor, happy birthday.
Okay.
And
if you wear cotton and you don't have to iron it, thank Ruth.
So, also, last night, we're not a political company, but we try to keep up on current events. So last night was the last State of the Union from Barack Obama, who's currently the president. See, we're current. And he name-checked Grace Hopper and Sally Ride. He said, America's Grace Hopper, Katherine Johnson, and Sally Ride. And one of the things that we tried to do earlier in the year that was completely not successful is try to get enough people to rally to get Sally Ride or Grace Hopper on the $20 and $50 bills, because there is a mandate, it seems, to get a woman, half the population, on currency. There's no women on currency right now. And there's a bunch of names being tossed around. We're a STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. Some people say STEAM, they add some art in there, but I think
that's cool.
I think it's all good. It doesn't matter. And so what we tried to do is we're like, okay, look, we'll just throw together something quick just to show you what's possible, everyone. So Grace Hopper, Sally Ride, will it happen? Who knows? But it's getting put into the world where these names are there. So people are going to start to look up who Grace Hopper was, who Sally Ride was. So who knows? But it's interesting that in a State of the Union, these women who
Grace Hopper's hardcore
contributed a bunch in all sorts of pioneering ways. Both of them are getting name checked. So maybe we'll see something soon. Anyways, be interesting. I mean, in our lifetimes, there's going to be a woman on currency. That's going to be cool.
I
like that Benjamin Franklin wasn't.
What's funny is, of course, in England, it's like the Queen's on all the currency.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance that we'd see like Ada Lovelace on something in the UK.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think they were hoping to.
Yeah. Okay. Wearables. Every week, we have a Wearables videos. This week, go Tenna. Let's watch it.
Welcome
Take
to
it away,
another
Becky.
Adafruit Wearables Teardown. Today we're taking apart the Go Tenna. It's a long-range wireless radio for off-the-grid communication. It pairs with your phone over Bluetooth and then communicates with other GoTennas up to 4 miles away, depending on the environment you're in. It's great for things like music festivals where the cell network is oversaturated, wilderness communication for hiking, and it's also encrypted. To turn the GoTenna on, you just pull out the antenna. That activates the device, and then you can pair with it over Bluetooth. It has a fabric snap attachment point, so you can attach it to your bag or your person while you're walking around. It communicates best with other GoTennas with no obstacles in the way, and when there are buildings or trees or other obstacles, it reduces the range. It allows you to send text messages, but also locations, and you can store offline maps. That way you can send your friend who's hiking with you your location and find each other while you're off the grid. It works with iOS and Android, and it's a pretty sophisticated device. Let's see what Lady Ada had to say about the design of the circuit inside.
Thanks, Becky. So the GoTenna is a really interesting radio device, and so looking forward to some really cool RF circuitry inside. So let's look at this circuit board. It's not too big, it's about 2 inches by maybe ½ an inch. There's a lot of labeling on here, which makes this very easy to analyze. You can tell by the logo that this is a Freescale processor. It's exactly the MKL27Z128V MP4, which is a Cortex M processor. I think it's an M4 processor, might be an M3 or M0. And over here, there's some expansion flash. We've seen these in a couple wearables where they have to do a lot of data logging. So this is 8-pin SPI flash, probably about ½ a megabyte or so. And this is going to store messages and data. Maybe it has calibration information. There's no EEPROM on a lot of Cortex M0s, so this would be a great place to stick data while you're buffering it. Over here, we see there's starting to be the RF analog section. There's a lot of components here, a lot of wire inductors that are used to match and filter the signal. So this processor is connected directly to this chip, which is a Scilabs SI4460 119 to 1050 megahertz radio, which is kind of neat. I mean, this is a very wide band radio. It goes all the way from 100 megahertz to up to about a gigahertz. From what I recall, the GoTenna is about 100 megahertz. Again, the lower the frequency, the farther you can go. Less data, I mean, you won't be able to transmit voice as easily over data over 100 megahertz, but since it's only transmitting small sort of SMS-like data messages, 100 megahertz means you can just go that much further. So this is all the assistive circuitry for that. And then over here is a leather chip, and it says RF10G. And while I couldn't find the exact data sheet for this part, it's pretty clearly an amplifier chip. And the reason you can tell is because on the back, there's this heat sink gunk and this spread out ground plane. It's in a weird shape just because that's as big as it could get the ground plane. And it heat sinks to the body. And then this amplifier is what's going to really give you that boost of signal when it does the transmission or it's waiting to receive. On its own, maybe it would only give you, maybe a couple meters of signal, but with this boost, you can get up to a couple of kilometers. Definitely you can tell a lot of care and love was put into this analog section. And then over here is power filter circuitry, basically just getting everything for the amp, and then it connects to the antenna. Over here, we've got the LiPoly battery. You've got kind of a classic LiPoly, 350 milliamp hours. You want to get this as big as possible so you can supply a lot of current to the amplifier. Remember, it's going to take a big rush of current. Even if you have capacitors to help you, you're still going to have a big spike of power when you do a transmission. So the bigger the battery, it's not just for how long it lasts, but whether it can source that much current safely. You can see there's this really nice big thick trace that goes right in, feeds into the amplifier. So right here is where you're going to get that power feed. And then of course it's going to also have a little trace on the back that goes over here and powers the microcontroller as well. This is the SDW debug and programming pins for the main Cortex processor on the other side. This is the NRF 8001. We even have a breakout for this in the store. It's a common Bluetooth 2.4 gigahertz transceiver. It's ROM only. You don't program this chip. You basically send it commands over SPI and it sets up the Bluetooth connectivity for you. Very simple. There's a lot of good documentation. It's an older chip, really well known. So they do all the processing on the Kinetis Freescale processor and just leave this to do just the Bluetooth stuff. Okay, we've got, the radio, you've got all the analog support circuitry, a lot of power path stuff going on here into the amplifier. But where's the antenna? Where the path goes is out of this amplifier, through this inductor over here, and then to this location. This is a little piece of glue, and this is a flex PCB antenna. Another interesting thing we noticed when taking apart this antenna is you can see here, this little thing here, this is a rare earth magnet. And this is what indicates to the microcontroller that yes, it's been turned on, because when this is pulled open, this Hall effect sensor no longer detects the magnet. You can connect it up to an interrupt pin on the Freescale processor, and just when you see it go off, that's when you turn on the LED, turn on the radio, and turn on the Bluetooth Low Energy. Cute design.
For this and many other teardowns, we use these tools and the Adafruit USB microscope with its articulated stand. What wearables should we take apart next? Let us know in a comment below and check out our playlist to see all of our previous wearables teardowns. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Adafruit channel on YouTube.
Alrighty, so that's a GoTenna. And we also had Danielle and Raphael on the show here in the past.
Correct.
They are a New York-based hardware company.
And they're going to apparently be releasing an API so that people can, within
more stuff.
legal requirements from the SEC, do their own applications and functionality to the GoTenna.
Cool stuff. All right,
Next up.
don't forget, every Wednesday, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Leslie was on the show today. We do this every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
She's always so great.
That was super cool. 3D printing. This week we have 2 videos. One is the time traveling video, so we'll get to that one. As far as
Time lapse.
It's kind of like time traveling.
You are.
Time traveling.
We are time traveling now
Yeah.
into the future.
Okay, but let's first go over the M3D review.
Coming up, we're taking a look at the micro 3D printer from M3D. The Micro 3D is an incredibly small 3D printer that weighs just 2 pounds. It's really compact, and although it looks simple, it really does have some nice features that makes it a pretty good choice for a first-time 3D printer. Underneath the bed is a compartment for storing the spool of filament, which makes this super low profile. It has a removable bed, and although it's not heated, it is flexible with build tack, which makes it pretty easy to remove 3D prints. The 0.4mm nozzle takes your standard 175 filament, and it's rocking a direct drive system, so you can print with flexible materials and even those exotic composites. Now, the only drawback other than the small build size is that it's not the world's fastest 3D printer. You can, however, print parts with fine resolution at 50 microns, and the surface quality comes out pretty good. For all the specs and more details about the Micro 3D printer, we have a written guide linked below. This simple hood for our GoPro took just 7 minutes to print, and it's pretty handy for capturing our time lapses, especially in the direct sunlight. It ships with M3D slicing software, which runs Cura under the hood, but you're completely free to use G-code from other slicers using a third-party app like MicroPrint. If you're looking to put it on a Wi-Fi network, you can totally run an Octoprint rig with a Raspberry Pi. The Micro FIO plugin for Octoprint is loaded with lots of features, so you can configure your settings, level the bed, and even update the firmware. Octoprint really does make remote 3D printing more convenient, so you don't have to have a computer tethered to the machine. Now, what I like about this is you can simply drag and drop STLs right onto the browser window. It's got the built-in Cura engine, so it's really easy to position and scale your models. This thing's so light, and it's pretty crazy how you can just pick it up and take it with you. So that's a quick look at the Micro 3D printer from M3D. If you guys have any questions or you'd like to see some of your designs 3D printed, just drop us a line down below. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more videos from Adafruit.
just going to go right into the time lapse. So let's do this right away.
But it's very fast.
Yeah. Tomorrow is 3D Hangouts every Thursday, 3 p.m. Noah and Pedro. Except Pi News. Okay, so for Pi News...
Pi.
Yeah, for Pi News this week, we have the tutorial, the little Pi bot.
Yes. So his little mini Pi bot.
With a video.
He also made a video.
Zoom.
This is a simple Raspberry Pi robot project. Using Adafruit's new robot chassis kit, you can build a simple robot and control it using a Raspberry Pi and Python code. The Adafruit motor hat powers two small DC motors that drive the main wheels of the robot. Using just two motors, the robot can travel in any direction. The robot chassis kit includes everything needed to build a simple robot. A beautiful anodized aluminum chassis provides flexible mounting options for motors and other parts. Tiny DC motors and large rubber wheels provide locomotion for the robot, and a handy top plate allows you to mount anything like sensors or a battery pack to the robot. Using the Raspberry Pi, you can control the robot from Python code and instruct it to move in any way. The robot in this project has no sensors or other input from the outside world. It's a great starting point for you to build on and make your own amazing Raspberry Pi robot. You can add sensors, a camera, or almost anything else to this robot. You just need a few simple tools and about an hour of time to put together the robot. See the link to the full guide in the description below. What will you add to your Raspberry Pi robot? Post in the comments.
All right.
Oh, it's like a time-lapse party going on here.
Yeah, we had a bunch of videos.
A lot of time lapses.
Okay, well, before we get into new products, which is
Yeah.
the reason why a lot of people are here,
Yeah.
the code is Omnibus, 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight.
Okay, getting my demos ready.
Yeah. Everything except for software and gift certificates, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
As usual.
Yeah. All right. New products.
New.
Okay.
New.
Yeah. So let's kick it off. First up.
This is the V3 of the Monk Makes Raspberry robot board. So Simon Monk, who's done a bunch of tutorials for us, has made a new version of his Raspberry robot board. So this robot board is kind of nice. It has a buck converter, so you can basically power your entire Raspberry Pi plus robot from like I think 9 to 12 volts. You can also use that to drive a single stepper motor or two DC motors. It's also got a open collector like high current drive. It's a little add-on that kind of helps you do robotics projects. It works with the Raspberry Pi B. It also will fit on the B plus or the A plus or even the Pi Zero, but it just doesn't use the full 20 pins of the connector. So I have it here. That's kind of cute. Yeah, so the new version comes with a TB6612. And I think it does something a little bit nicer with the power supply. I don't remember exactly what it was. You can check the product page for the update, or of course the Monk Makes website. But yeah, if you want to get fully assembled, plug and play robotics friend for your Pi, this is a good choice.
Okay. Next up.
BNCs. We have a bunch of these for different types of connectors, and today I got we put in the ones for the BNC plug-in socket. Now, I know what you're about to say. You're like, BNCs are usually on coaxial cable, and coaxial cable is impedance matched, so you get like 50 ohm or 75 ohm cable for use with like cable TV or cable and whatever. Yeah, but sometimes you have test equipment and it just happens to have BNC connectors on it. And so you don't care about the impedance, you just want to connect to it. So just be aware that you shouldn't use this to wire up your cable modem. I mean, it might work, maybe, for like a short run or something. I guess you could also put in a resistor or something, although I don't know if that would work. But this is basically just for like if you want to connect things between BNC connectors, especially like I have a logic, not a logic analyzer, a frequency generator that has BNC output, or TTL sync is on BNC. I think it's kind of a nice way to plug it in and connect. So that's what these are good for.
Okay. Next up, this is the Hackaday Volume 2 Omnibus.
It's a lovely magazine. They publish this once a year, I think.
No, I think it's
6 months or so.
I think it's been a couple in a year.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not every month, but when it comes out, it has all sorts of lovely projects. It's kind of the best of Hackaday, but it goes in depth. You get drawings and cartoons, and detailed research and quotes, and it's like really lovely art.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is kind of fun. It's like what I like is that it isn't monthly, so you should.
More zines.
Yeah, it's like more like a zine. Like you can pick this up when it's available. They have an interview with the Satnogs people who won last year's Hackaday Prize. Information about the kind of research into like the Volkswagen diesel analysis, how to use the 16-bit MCUs. I guess this is I don't know exactly what the project this is about. Rice farming technology. That's for Akiba, who's a friend of ours. Chris Akiba. He's doing a lot of farm hacking. It's doing sensors and wireless research around like rice farming, because he's in Tokyo. He's outside Tokyo on the hacker farm in Japan. And there's an article by Chris Anderson about drones and Skynet and peer-to-peer communication, and an article about Shenzhen. I mean, it goes on and on. Anyways, check it out. Very interesting stuff.
Okay. Next up, this is a little Pi Zero case.
Yeah, these are cute little Pi Zero cases from C4 Labs. So this is nice wooden plastic. It has a heat sink. The heat sink isn't required. I kind of wish it wasn't included, but it doesn't hurt. You can put a heat sink on your Raspberry Pi Zero. It won't make it run any faster, but it's there. So yeah, this little case has nice wooden feel and look to it. And then there's a secondary one that kind of comes with it, not comes with it, but also by C4 Labs. And that's a version that has a breadboard as well. So can you click on the 3004? So this is kind of a cute idea. I like this. You could solder wires or put in a GPIO header, and then you have a breadboard that you can jumper wires to. And the Pi Zero is very small and cute. And so this is a kind of a neat prototyping board. I really like this idea, and I wish I'd thought of it. So I'll carry it in the store.
Okay. And then kind of the stars of the show tonight, besides you, this is the new Feather.
Yeah, this is, I think, kind of like the final Bluefruit board. We have like 6 different types of Bluefruits. This is the Bluefruit Feather M0. So this is an ATSAMD 21G18. It's a Cortex M0 processor. It's the same processor used in the Arduino Zero. We really, really like it because it's a really nice upgrade to the Arduino Zero chip, or the basic AVR chips. It's a 32-bit processor. It's got DMA. It's got a 1/4 megabyte of flash. It has 32K of RAM. It has tons of GPIO. It has like tons of interrupts, PWM. It has analog output, as a true analog output. It's low power, as low power as an 8-bit processor, but you get 32-bit processor performance. You compile it with AVR GCC, and we thought it would be a really nice thing to pair this with a Bluetooth Low Energy module, so you get a lot of power and this wireless capability, so you can basically design apps, and you have a lot of space to work in. So this is the Feather board. So it's compatible, the same shape and size and pinout as the other Feathers that we have. So all of our Feather wings work with it. So you can plug in a motor driver tomorrow and it just works. Or we have a NeoPixel Feather wing, and you can add 32 LEDs if you'd also like. We also have more Feather wings. We have a prototyping Feather wing. We talked about it earlier. But I like this. It's very powerful. You can program it and debug it over USB. It has LiPoly charging built in, so you can run off of USB or LiPoly, and it'll switch between the two, whichever one's higher it'll use. You can stack wings on top of it. It's compact. It's got mounting holes. It's got a little battery sense resistor network, so you can sense the battery. And of course, it's got the Bluefruit module, which is awesome, and we're constantly working on and doing improvements. So if you want to connect to computers wirelessly without needing like an XB dongle, this is a way to do it. Everything from Windows 8 up and OS 10 on Mac and Linux has native Bluetooth Low Energy support. Sometimes you need a dongle. And even Windows 7, we got it working by doing this like really crazy hack using the Noble project. So it is possible even Windows 7 to have communication between Bluetooth and your desktop. But what's really good for is phones and tablets, because pretty much every phone and tablet now has Bluetooth Low Energy. And it's pretty much what all devices nowadays are using. And we have a really great app for this as well. So I thought I would show off the app.
Yeah.
The overhead.
Let's go to the overhead.
Okay, so I'm over here. So let me lock. So you can power this from a battery, so it's kind of handy. And I have the Feather just plugged into a breadboard. It's breadboard friendly, and it has a NeoPixel ring. And then the little red LED just lets you know that it's waiting for the app to connect. And then you can download the free Bluetooth Low Energy app. We have Bluefruit LE Connect, and there's also the source codes available on GitHub as well, so you can design your own app. And we also have information about the UART UUIDs used. So it shows up as Adafruit Bluefruit LE. Hold on, let me just zoom in a little bit. So you can connect to it. And I'm going to demo the controller. And the controller has a color picker, just makes it the easiest demo. And you can send data pretty easily from your phone. This is a really great demo showing like, okay, hey, like in about 2 seconds, you plug in a NeoPixel ring, and then you've got color sending back and forth, so you can make like a custom lamp. That's not the only thing the app can do. The app also has a controller, so you can have little up, down, left, right, A, B, C, D button controller. So we demoed a little robot that you can use this on a tablet or iPhone to control a little robot. You can also stream sensor data, which I really like. For example, the quaternion data from the orientation of the phone itself can be sent. So we also did a demo where we had a robot, and then the acceleration and tilt of the phone or tablet is what makes it go. You can also send GPS data. You can turn on the GPS, allow GPS, and then you can send your GPS location through the iPad to the Bluefruit LE. So like, let's say you don't want to add a GPS. If you have your tablet or phone, you can just use that and transmit the GPS data from the phone to the Bluefruit, so it saves you that, or gyro, magnetometer, accelerometer, quaternion. We also have pin I/O. This isn't set up, so it's going to time out. Yeah, it's going to say no, good default. Where you can control the analog outputs, or sorry, the analog inputs, or PWM outputs of each pin. So that's another capability. I recently merged that in, so that it works on this processor. And then you can update the firmware, and then you can also just use UART mode. And UART mode is like you just send raw data like RX and TX from one to the other. It's not going to do anything because it's in color picker mode, but basically you can have data sent back and forth. And you can write your own app. We have an app for Android and Bluetooth. Android 4.4 or higher has Bluetooth Low Energy support. Yeah. And of course, I'm using an iOS tablet or phone. That works really great. And you can also use desktop. It doesn't have the full app, but you can use desktop for data transfer. And I like this if you don't want to get an XB or you don't want to have a radio. It's like Bluetooth Low Energy is in everything. So kind of handy, an all-in-one little portable Bluetooth Low Energy board. I've seen a lot of people prototype wearables and apps using the Feather line, so it's a nice upgrade.
Yeah. Okay. And with that is new product slate data. Thank you.
Yay!
Good work. All right.
Oh wait, so somebody asked about the Adafruit. I forgot one thing.
What?
There is another thing that you can do with
we're back.
Controller. Sorry, I always forget this. There is, in UART mode. Oh, come on. UART. You can add MQTT mode where you can stream data to and from Adafruit I/O. So you can have, you can use your phone as a tether, basically. So you have it on cellular or Wi-Fi, and then the Bluetooth data can come and go between these two and get sent via MQTT into Adafruit.io, which is our you can actually set an MQTT server, but it basically allows you to transmit data to the internet and store it long term or receive data from the internet. So that's really handy too. I keep forgetting about that. It's like maybe we'll make a separate window for that because it's often forgotten.
Okay. All right. And with
Thank
that,
you.
With that is really the end of new products for tonight.
Well, I always like to have all the details.
Okay. That's it. All right. So just a reminder, don't forget the code is Omnibus. 10% off the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Dun, dun, dun. And still a bit of a reminder, we're going to stop in the free deal. So if you're going to do a purchase, this would be
You can get like a
good
micro.
time.
You get one of those new
Yeah.
micro 3D printers, get 10% off, and get all the freebies.
Yeah, before midnight would be
Pretty good
We might
deal.
do freebies later, but anyways. Okay, we have a top secret tonight. It's not out yet,
Yay.
don't ask.
Yeah.
This is pretty exciting for the people who watched from the desk of Lady Ada. Here it is, Circuit Playground,
Yay!
our new low-cost educational board.
I think I'm done. As the engineer always says. So I've been designing this board. This is Rev B, and I think I have a couple minor fixes, but for the most part, it's complete. So this is an all-in-one educational board. We always have teachers, parents, workshop runners say we really want something that we can program that has a bunch of sensors and inputs and outputs to, and maybe alligator clips to connect other devices to, but it has to be all in one. Like we would always say, well, how about an Arduino starter kit or a Raspberry Pi kit? We're like, no, we actually don't have the ability to wire up a breadboard or solder or even sew a wearable circuit. Like this pretty much has to be ready to go. You hand it to somebody and they can immediately get started. And so, this was something that came up with when we did the Google Made with Code, because they're like, we really wish there was something that was a very low cost, easy to use learning board, and that was also wearable. And I'm like, okay, kind of like a Flora, but have all the stuff in it. So this board is a little bit bigger than the Flora, but it uses the same processor. I made the pads bigger so you can fit an alligator clip in. You can clip on with an alligator clip and it won't come loose. So that's kind of nice. It also has, as you can tell, 10 mini NeoPixels on it, so you can have RGB LED effects. There is a light sensor, a temperature sensor, an accelerometer motion sensor, and it's a really nice one that has all sorts of extras like double tapped and tap detection and really good quality list 3DH. It also has an audio sensor, a sound sensor, and a little mini speaker that can make buzzy sounds. And there's also 2 buttons, left and right press buttons, and a slide switch. So, and all the pads on the outside can also act as capacitive touch pads as well. So not only are they GPIO, you can do I2C and UART. Basically, it's the same as the Flora, all the same I/O, but it also added 1 mega ohm pull-ups on all of them so that they can be used as capacitive touch sensors. And it's basically, I'm still thinking about how I'm going to have the integration, what kind of bootloader I'm going to have. But the idea is that you get this, and if you want to do a project with Scratch or you want to just start writing code, you have everything you need to basically do a simple prototype. You've got outputs with sound and light. You've got inputs with temperature, light, audio, buttons, switches. It can run off a battery. It can power from USB. It's not everything. Like I wanted to make it, 2 inches diameter. So there, or whatever. Yeah, I think it's 2 inches diameter. I wanted to make it 2 inches diameter. I didn't want to, I could have added like a slide potentiometer or like more sensors.
Yeah, but then it ends up being like a dev board that.
Yeah, or like an LED or OLED screen. And the idea was like I wanted something, that I could make low cost very easily. Was all surface mount. It was fairly rugged. It was single-sided. It basically like optimizing for, what can I fit in and still that kind of does everything I want and still hit the size and bill of materials price. So I think that this is going to be ready for beta soon. I'm going to do some final tests, and Tony Nicole and I came up with a bunch of projects that we can build with it. We want to come up with at least like 10 or 15 projects that we would have out of the box that would show people how you can use all these sensors and outputs. So yeah, it could always have more things, but we wanted to have this thing. So it's coming soon. It's not out yet. don't ask. But there's a sign up for
Yeah.
it. It's PID 3000, which is
Yep.
why.
We have 3,000 products.
Well, actually, we have 2,500.
Yeah, I know.
But because we deleted and discontinued
Yeah.
and replaced, so
But at some point,
but it's still a number.
The journey has gone forward.
It's definitely the highest it's ever been.
Yeah. Okay. Let's end this. That's it. That was top secret. Okay. Let's start answering questions right away. Type them in chat. Put in
Yay.
your questions. Lady Ada, we're gonna start answering them. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
First up, does anyone know of a USB to serial for Arduino chip that I can use? I want to make a partial keyboard game controller using a very simple Atmel chip, or should I use a Atmega 32U4 chip?
If you want to have serial and also be able to have it act as like a keyboard or a joystick, then definitely you want a Teensy or an Atmega 32U4 like Arduino Leonardo or even a Feather. If you use Teensy, there's a bunch of support for different keyboards and stuff. If you use just a plain Arduino compatible with a 32U4, you can use the T on Ardu plugin basically that lets you. It's like the board manager plugin that lets you do MIDI and joystick and keyboard and mouse. That's definitely the easiest way to do it.
Okay. Next up, I think this one, I'm going to suggest that they give us a chance to have the engineers look at it in the forums. But if they got a Kippa 7-inch touch screen for the Raspberry Pi and they can see the screen, but the touch screen doesn't work and it says they need to install it and it keeps saying couldn't find.
Oh yeah, definitely
driver.
post to the forums because we want to look at logs and photos and stuff. We'll get you
be able
going.
to tell right away.
If you have the screen working, you're actually you got the hardest part going. So you know the rest is easy.
Okay. Next up is. Have you ever heard of the batteryizer?
No,
No,
I
send us a
don't.
link. We'll check it
Sorry,
out.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Next up, someone wants to know if there's a way to hook up a Raspberry Pi camera to the Pi Zero.
You cannot. Yeah, that's one of the trade-offs that the Pi Zero made. In order to get it to be really, really small and low cost, they did not put a camera connector on it. So the smallest Raspberry Pi that you can use the Raspberry Pi camera is the Model A+. That said, there is a USB port on the Pi Zero, so you can probably use a USB webcam that has Linux support. If it basically has Linux support, you could use that. It won't be as lovely and cute as the Pi camera, but it should work just over USB.
Okay, okay. All right. Next up, can you connect multiple phones and other devices on one Bluefruit device?
That's an excellent question, and the answer is no. And that's it. No, it's you can only have one central, like the phone, and or the computer, and multiple peripherals such as your Feather or your Fitbit or your watch. I think that there might be there's definitely talk about having one peripheral be able to talk to more than one central, but I don't. Wait, I even can't remember which one. They wanted multiple
phones on a Bluefruit.
Yeah, I think there's discussion about the ability to, in the future version of the Bluetooth protocol, do that, because I know that they're like doing stuff with we can have devices that can be centrals or peripherals, but it definitely doesn't exist yet. At this time, it's only point-to-point. One peripheral, one master, multiple peripherals, but one peripheral, one master.
Okay. Let's see. There's a bunch.
That's good.
Well, let's see. I'm just trying to go back in time here.
Oh yeah, because you have to go back.
There's a bunch, yeah, and
Sorry, there's so many questions.
The YouTube chat isn't very good at scrolling back. Okay, here we go. If you wanted to create a time display that used a 10 megahertz input, would you use something like the Adafruit clock generator to drive the LCD display, or would you have something Arduino based?
Create a time display that used a one. Well, I can't tell if it's megahertz or millihertz. I think he means millihertz.
Yeah.
If you wanted to count, I guess you're trying to count how often your millihertz signal comes in. You could use a microcontroller I'd use something, you know, that an Arduino compatible would be fine, and it would count the ticks. And then you could use one of our little I2C LED backpacks with numbers, and you could print out the numbers that way. Definitely, you need something if you want to get really precise timing. Like millihertz isn't that much, but I guess it depends on how precise you want your millihertz timing. Like, is it like multiple decimal points or not? You definitely want something that's a real-time chip to measure that.
Okay. Next up, what type of rechargeable battery is best to leave on trickle charge via solar panel?
Lead acid batteries. You can do anything you want to lead acid batteries. I mean, like,
okay.
Yeah, they can last forever, and the voltages line up. So a 6-volt solar cell can plug into a 6-volt lead acid, and the open circuit voltage of the solar panel is within the range of the float high of a lead acid battery. It's been a really, really long time since I hooked them up, like over 10 years, but we did it at Burning Man, and it worked great, and I'm still alive, so that's a good one.
Okay, what do you suggest for indoor tracking with a Raspberry Pi robot, Bluetooth Low Energy?
It's actually really hard. You know, you can do RSSI, and it'll give you some distance, but like, you know, it's dependent a little bit about what's going on. There's really no excellent way to do indoor tracking. The only ways I've ever seen people do indoor tracking with any precision is you have IR LEDs on the robot, and then you have webcams with that can see IR, and then, you know, they can use multiple cameras to locate them. But yeah, it's really, indoor tracking is tough. It's not really a solved problem yet.
Okay. All right. And then can the Bluefruit LE connect with something besides like an Android? Can it connect with an interface with an Arduino type device?
It can if you have a Bluetooth host module. And the BLE modules we have don't do that. But I think some of the TI chipsets do. So if you can get a module that can act as a BLE host master, then yeah, it'll work. I just don't know of any. So that's why we kind of suggest using, you know, Android or iPhone or a desktop computer.
Okay. All right. And with that, those are the questions. If we didn't get to yours, just come back. We're here every week. Some weeks we have a ton of new
That's
products.
good. I did like 10 minutes of questions.
Yeah, some weeks we have a ton of products, some week we don't have many, and all depends. And also, of course, go to forums.adafruit.com for your tech support questions. We have a team of engineers.
Yes.
They'll answer your questions about Adafruit products. Just be excellent to them, and we will be excellent to you.
We debug stuff all the time. Sometimes you just need a photo or some. Sometimes it's you know what actually is the number one most common thing? These charge versus sync cables. Mm-hmm. People have charge only cables, and it's a pox. Can I say that? It's a pox upon tech support, because it looks like it's powering it, but there's no data wires.
Yeah.
But you can't tell that there's no data wire. It looks like a charging cable because it comes with your phone or whatever. So they plug it in, they say it's powered, but it's not showing up as USB. And then now we've always learned, like it's a new thing we've learned to say, are you sure it's a sync cable, not a charge cable? And it's like 90% of the time, it's not a data cable.
Let's give away something. What are the rules for trivia?
Rules for trivia are, if you've won something before, you can't win per my lifetime. You have to, only one winner per show.
Yeah.
So if you've won anything before, sit on your hands. Please don't give hints. We want to make it fair for everybody. Everybody gets a chance to win a lovely prize. And today's lovely prize is a Feather Bluefruit M0. Ooh, so you can,
so it's
all
a
those
Feather
Bluetooth
Bluefruit M0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. PID 2995. You got it. If you answer and you get the spelling right, and Phil's going to be looking at all the chats.
Yeah, I know where I'm going to go to pick it. And if I see it first, we'll do it. Okay. There are two people that we suggested that end up on the currency. Who are they? I'll even show their pictures.
Who are these individuals?
Who are these two people that we suggested to be on the currency? Post up in the chat rooms.
Both their names.
Yeah. Get it close enough, and I'll
get it close enough.
I'll probably be okay with that.
We're going close enough tonight.
Yeah. 42.
Not Spartacus.
Is not the answer. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh.
All right. Tanwet in the Twitch
Tanute.
channel. Yeah. Tanute.
You're a Tanute, and you're correct.
You won. Okay. Email support@adafruit.com. You're in the Twitch channel, and it's Tianwut. And you get a Blue Fruit M0.
PAD 2995.
Yep.
Congratulations. Jinx.
Good work. Okay. Well, that's the show tonight, everyone. Don't forget, code is Omnibus. That's 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
In stock, 10% off.
Yep.
Get freebies
10%
too.
Off. Thank you very much, all of our customers, our community, everybody who helps out with the show every single week, everyone who supports us. We are viewer supported only, so your orders help us.
I'm outside.
Yeah, welcome to New York.
New York.
And we'll see everybody next week. We'll have some Lady Ada, Death from Lady Ada, some other shows.
Not
other
tonight,
stuff.
but tomorrow. I think
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'm feeling
Yeah.
pretty good about broadcasting tomorrow. Now, also on the weekend.
We'll see. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for a fantastic show.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Here's a cat.
Show cat.
And here's a moment of Zener.
The cat does show up on Desk Lady Ada.
Yeah, he does.
Live cat.